Sri Krishna here helps us to overcome the effects of karma. And it could be said that the entire spiritual path consists of offering up the ego for purification and of receiving God's grace in return. And whatever one takes in this direction towards God is right action. And whatever affirms the ego is wrong action. And right action earns us good karma. Wrong action earns us bad karma. Swami Kriyananda spoke once about a dream that he had, a superconscious dream. And in this dream, he was at the end of his life, and he had recalled a friend who was unkind to him, who had betrayed him. And Swamiji, remembering this, started to feel bitter. And then he thought, if I die this way, with this thought, the next life I might be in a position to treat this friend badly, and he would feel bitter. And it would go on and on, like a vicious cycle, a spiral staircase, repeating the same karma in each lifetime. And then Swamiji thought, can't I end it now? And from the depths of his heart, he cried out, I forgive him. He woke up then. He woke up relieved and free through that simple act of forgiveness. He removed a great karmic burden. There's a lovely book which I read many years ago. It's called Love is Letting Go of Fear. And it helped me to open my heart more. And it said that a powerful way to develop love, to let go of fear, is to introspect and to consciously forgive all those who may have caused us harm, to bring them to mind and consciously forgive them. And just through that act, you may be forgiving them also for past lives and ending that vicious cycle of bad karma. When we feel that I have to be right, then someone else has to be wrong. Or maybe everyone else is wrong. But when we let go of this urge to be right, when we're not afraid to be wrong, then to forgive others, it costs us nothing. We have nothing to lose because we don't have anything to prove. We don't have any stature, any position that we're desperate to hold on to. We're free to let go, and we're free to forgive. We're governed by the law of karma, but who set that karma, that law in motion? We did. Our past desires put into action gradually become entrenched habits, and they condition and control our present lives. In the Bible it says, as you sow, so shall you reap. In other words, whatever you plant, you're going to harvest exactly the same thing. And Yogananda Ji took this a step further, speaking of these repetitive actions. And he said, if you plant an action, you harvest a habit. If you plant a habit, you harvest a tendency. If you plant a tendency, you harvest your destiny. In other words, those many small, repetitive actions become habits, and they become tendencies, and which move us towards our destiny. And what we are now is an accumulation of all of the thoughts, all of the desires, all of the actions of all of our past lives. And through right action, we can eventually transcend all of these. We overcome all of our karma. Yogananda ji said, you have to live anyway. And since you have to live, why not live in the best possible way? He said, how many people excuse themselves from the need to change, saying, karma, it's my karma, I can't change it. If you really love God, then dwell in the consciousness of eternal freedom in Him. Yogananda ji appreciated an attitude that he saw in America, a country of only immigrants and children of immigrants. And what he saw was a willingness to break away from old habits, from old ways of thinking, a willingness to start over, to change, to try something new. If something is, he said, it's rather as if people ask the question, eventually, but why not now? If something is worth doing, why put it off? Do it now. The best way to escape our karma, of course, is to live in divine consciousness. With every meditation, our karma automatically decreases through no other effort on our part, through no specific effort. And the more we live guided from within at our own center, we have control over our outer lives. We have control over our karma. And in super consciousness, we're no longer helplessly controlled by habits, by desires, and we free ourselves from this karmic slavery. Guruji said, work to destroy the seeds of your past karma. Roasted seeds will not germinate. People who in deep meditation roast their karmic seeds in the fires of wisdom will never again need to reincarnate on earth. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Keshava sort of said it all. I really don't know what else I should say. I think I could sit back down. Well, we don't. It was so good. I really don't really want to follow it with anything. But let's see. So karma is a wonderful teacher for us. We tend to think when we bring up karma, we tend to sort of say it in a negative way. Yeah, it's my karma, or it's my bad karma. But really, karma is the ideal way for us to learn our lessons. And it's really Divine Mother's gift and her perfect law that helps us to learn everything we need to learn. And we happily get to pick up in this life where we left off in the last life. And so hopefully we won't have to learn too many things over and over again. If we are very angry and selfish, we know that we'll be unhappy. And so we learn from our unhappiness because everybody, as Yogananda said, is seeking happiness. So if we're unhappy, we're going to do something to try to change that. And if I'm kind and I'm loving and I'm generous and I'm giving, I feel happy. And I think, well, I feel happy doing that. I'm just going to do it more. And that's how we grow spiritually, because we get to that point where we are generous and loving and giving, and we allow the light and wisdom and joy to flow through us, and we think, wow, if I feel that good doing this, I want more of it, and the more we share it and the more people we share it with, the more joy I'm going to have. And so here we are in satsang, and we know this, and we're going to apply this, and we do apply this in our lives, so that's just so great. But then, if we don't achieve liberation in this lifetime, because many of us actually don't want to work that hard, a lot of us just think that life is going good. Why would I work so hard? Because it's going well. Because then the next life, actually, you don't know exactly where you're going to be born. And when I think of my life, I was very grateful to have found Autobiography when I was in my 20s and Ananda when I was in my mid-30s. But all along there, I could have easily taken a left turn and ended up somewhere else very easily. And I think it's through the grace of our gurus that they were just saying, come on, and just pulling me in that direction. But I could easily see one decision in my life and things would have gone the other way. And so when we do have this wisdom and knowledge to be on the spiritual path, it's like, let's go as far as we can in this lifetime, so it will improve our odds in the next lifetime, or we'll just become Jivan Muktas in this lifetime. We'll overcome our ego completely, and then if we have to be reborn, it's just to finish off bad karma, but we won't have an ego to have any more karma stick. Because when we're born, we have this, either we're born with more spiritual karma or more material karma. Like the Gita lessons that Lahiri and Swamiji and our guru tell us, those wise, good citizens, when we're born, they're listening for Krishna's flute. They hear Krishna speak. They hear the Gita. They hear that note. And their good citizens say, let's go there, let's follow that note. And yet the material citizens, they're saying, no, let's follow the money. Let's follow the security. And since we have that going on, that battle going on within us all the time, we need to keep increasing that spiritual karma within us by everything that we talk about every week. We come every Sunday and we sort of say the same things again and again, don't we? But why do we come every Sunday? And why do the gurus say satsang is good? Be around like-minded people, because we remember what it is we're supposed to be doing in life. I mean, the spiritual path is so much about just memory. Why are we here? Who are we? And they tell us again and again, meditate. Remember that you are light. Remember that you are spirit. Because sometimes karma can get so complicated and something happens to us and we don't know why. Yogananda called that the thwarting cross currents of ego. We did something 10 lives ago and now it's coming back. But the thing that we did 9 lives ago is coming back like this, and it's hard to learn our lessons. But when we get on a serious spiritual path, if we transgress the divine laws, if we do something wrong, if we're unkind, if we hurt somebody, hopefully our karma is good enough that we'll learn our lesson immediately. Divine Mother will give us a slap and we'll know what we did wrong and we'll learn from it. It's very difficult to get to that point where you can see your karma responding to you right away. It's very good karma when we get slapped down as soon as we do something. I won't do that again. Sister Gyanamata, Yogananda's chief woman disciple, said, it's a death to the devotee to think they're being treated unfairly. If something comes to you, it's because you drew it. It's been meaning to come, and thank you, God, for letting it come so I can learn this lesson. And the gurus just tell us again and again, remember who you are. That life is a quest for that just constant memory. Think of Lahiri Mahashaya, great avatar, born, working for the railway, goes up to Raniket, hasn't yet remembered who he is. He's a great avatar, and of course they play these roles for us so that we can learn. But Babaji touches him, he remembers everything. Yogananda tells us in Autobiography of a Yogi, he remembers from being a little baby how helpless he felt in that body. He remembered all along. But then he had visions of his guru, and when he found his guru, into cosmic consciousness. Swami Kriyananda read Autobiography of a Yogi in 4 days, crossed the country and took discipleship, never even knew what a guru was before reading that book. That's the kind of memory that we need to nurture within ourselves. And how do we do it? They tell us again and again how to do it. We need to meditate. We need to do affirmations like we did this morning. We need to chant. We need to do japa. We need to read the scriptures. We need to tune in with the Guru's consciousness, because that's their note chanting to us all the time, remembering us. You are children of the light. You are not an ego. You are a perfect soul. You are not this material body. You are spirit. And when we come together week after week, this is what we're doing, is just reminding ourselves of this. So let's not wait till only Sunday to remember. But that's why we meditate every day, to have that experience. I am light. I am that inner peace. I am that contented inner joy. That's what I am. And the more I align myself with those divine qualities, the less the world can make me believe that I'm a body, that I'm playing this role. So when Keshava was reading that quote about Krishna saying, how do we find inaction and action? We have to act. We are still living in the world. We have to act. But how can we find inaction in that action? The ego is not the one doing it. It's not me. I'm not the one taking credit for any of it. It's God flowing through me. When thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song. It's the flute. We're the flute, and Krishna is playing us. That's how we find inaction in action. God is the playwright. God is the director. God is the actor. It's not me. It's him in everything. Master would talk about the movie screen. It's just the movie. It's just Maya. And I'm playing my part that he wrote for me, but I'm just playing a part. It's not me. Who I am is light. Who I am is infinite spirit. And so then that's inaction in action. And how do we do action in inaction? We're good at that. How do we do that? We meditate. We are acting when we sit. And when our whole family thinks we're just sitting there going to sleep or being lazy or wasting our lives away in the room with the door closed, we are acting. They think we're not acting, but we are acting. We're offering our lives to that infinite light. We're offering that ego into the light. That's why Master says, gaze up, gaze up. This is where everything becomes purified. From the medulla, the seat of the ego, up to the spiritual eye. Offer it up, offer it up. Yogananda said, I killed Yogananda long ago, many lifetimes ago. All that dwells in this temple now is God. That's who we want to be. And he helps us. When we attune ourselves, they say, Krishna says, abide in me. Think of me constantly. Cling to me. Why is that? He wants to give us his wisdom, his discrimination, his awareness of who he is and who we all are. Yogananda says, attune yourself to me. That's what he said to the disciples over and over again. Attune yourself to me, to my consciousness. And I will remind you that you are a free soul, that you live in infinite spirit and in infinite freedom. God bless you.